Hello, Eric from Dersch Design and Engineering here to talk with you about how to better understand some of the electrical billing structures offered by San Diego Gas and Electric. This is part 2 of a 2-part series on the topic. In part 1, we covered how to read and better understand your SDG&E billing statement. Here in part 2, we'll cover the different rate plan options offered by the utility. First, let's look at the standard plan. This plan offers consistent rates on electricity no matter the time of day. The rates won't vary at all until you enter the second or third tier by exceeding 130% or 400% of the baseline allowance, respectively. For more information on baseline allowances, please refer to the first video in the series. Notice that in the sample bill used in part 1 of this series, the customer was able to stay in the first tier by using less than 130% of the baseline allowance and was billed at the first tier rate accordingly. This plan is best for customers that are committed to using less energy and that can stay under the baseline allowances. If you can do this, the reward is one low price. However, prices do increase significantly as you enter the second and third tiers. Time of use plans. SDG&E offers 3 residential time of use plans, which can offer you more choices on how to manage and control your energy costs. The time of use DR1 plan offers the following rates. You'll notice that the rates you are charged for electricity vary depending on the time of day. Between 4 and 9 p.m., rates are the highest. The reason the power costs more at this time is that solar power production statewide begins to decrease as the sun sets, and demand typically increases as people get home from work, turn on lights, run appliances, etc. Often the utility has to fire up inefficient and expensive fossil fuel peaker plants during this time to meet the demand, and this adds cost.
Whoa!
You may also notice that this plan only has 2 tiers separated by the 130% baseline allowance. With this plan, you would not be charged the high usage rate even if you exceed 400% of the baseline as you would have with the standard plan. It's also good to note that this plan offers different rates and associated time windows for weekends and holidays. You'll notice that on the sample bill used in part 1 of the series, there is a breakdown of average hourly electrical usage for the billing period, as well as a summation of kilowatt hours used during on-peak, off-peak, and super off-peak hours. This information can help you determine when you use the most electricity and whether or not the time of use rates would be advantageous to you. This plan is good for people that can shift some of their electrical usage away from the on-peak hours between 4 and 9 to take advantage of the lower pricing during off-peak and super off-peak hours. Home battery energy storage systems may be something to consider because they can actually help you shift around your electrical usage to avoid drawing from the grid during on-peak hours. Now this is the time of use DR2 plan. This plan is very similar to the time of use DR1 plan we just discussed. One of the main differences is that this plan does not offer super off-peak rates or different rates on holidays and weekends. There are only off-peak and on-peak time windows. This is another great option for people that can shift their electricity usage away from the 4 to 9 o'clock on-peak hours to take advantage of the lower pricing during off-peak hours. Remember, you can always check your SDG&E billing statement to see how your average hourly electrical usage would work with this plan. The final plan we'll discuss today is the time of use DRP plan. This plan is very similar to the time of use DR1 and DR2 plans we just discussed. You will notice slightly lower rates most of the time with this plan. However, you'll also notice the Reduce Your Use Day adder of $1.16. Reduce Your Use days can be called by the utility when energy use and grid demand are high. The utility may call up to 18 of these days in a given year. If SDG&E calls a Reduce Your Use Day, an additional $1.16 charge will be billed to customers who are on this plan on that day between the hours of 2 and 6. It's also good to note that this plan does offer different rates and time windows for holidays and weekends, similar to the DR1 plan. This is a great option for people that can commit to reducing energy usage on Reduce Your Use days and that can shift their electricity usage away from peak hours to take advantage of off-peak and super off-peak rates. With all of the time of use plans we discussed, there are 2 tiers separated by 130% of the baseline allowance, so it still pays to keep your electrical consumption low no matter the time of day. And, as noted in the previous examples, you can always check your SDG&E billing statement to see how your average hourly electrical usage stacks up to any plan you might be considering. I hope this video series helped you gain a better understanding of how to read your SDG&E utility bill, as well as some of the different pricing options available. More information on the subject can be found at sdge.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, if there's anything we can do to help, don't hesitate to reach out.